Hi there folks, it's Deni. Well, character progression in games has always held like a special place for players. I think you'll agree that it's great to slowly unleash your character and make them stronger and stronger to reach a level cap and feel like you've already made it completely through the game. Of course, that's cool, but what if the game doesn't have a level cap and you can keep progressing literally indefinitely? Sounds intriguing, right? Well, and if you think so, I suggest you sit back and take a look at games with an infinite progression system. But before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Okay, let's get started. Well, the first game we take a look at today is Undecember. Basically, it's kind of like the Diablo games, but with its own stuff. What's more, you can play this game both from your PC and from your smartphone while lying on your bed. And guess what? Some players spend literally hundreds and thousands of hours here, and well, they really enjoy it. But personally, I don't have that much free time to spend hundreds of hours on this game, but anyway, there is a pretty interesting plot here, which takes you to the main town of Saluto. That's where your adventures begin. You'll do raids, complete group and solo quests, travel through the Void Rift, take part in ranked mode and of course get a lot of rewards. Some players here even face a shortage of inventory space after thousands of hours of improving their character. However, this game recently introduced an update that more or less got things in order. Players were able to see a new story mode, but most importantly, much of what used to be available for a pay is now free. All in all, the game has literally taken on new colors, and I think now is as good a time as any to try it out if you haven't already. Next up, we have Two Worlds 2. Yeah, this is an open-world RPG released back in 2010. The game's story unfolds 2 years after the events of Two Worlds First. The protagonist here is a former prisoner who is trying to save his sister Kira from the evil wizard Grandoir. During the rescue operation, he gets into different situations, meets new people, not all of them good ones, though, but anyway. Basically, he explores the vast world of Antalur. As for gameplay, well, it's a classic role-playing system with an option to choose your character's class, race, gender and look. Once you create one, you are free to move around the world, complete main and side quests, fight enemies, use trade and craft items, basically pretty typical RPG stuff. But the most interesting thing about the game is the progress system. There is no limit on the level of equipment or the number of skill points. The way it works here is this. For example, you take a hunting bow and then another 250 similar bows, combine them and you get a level 251 hunting bow, which will shoot like you are shooting with 251 bows at once. So you can literally create a weapon here that can just one-shot any opponent in the game. Well, why don't you try it yourself? What do you think of when it comes to the mix of RPG and FPS genres? I bet many of you are thinking of Borderlands. Well, that's not really the case, since Borderlands puts more emphasis on FPS. There is little, really very little role-playing element there. But in E.I.E. Divine Cybermancy, everything is more or less the same. From the very beginning of the game, you'll realize that you'll spend most of your time far from fighting your enemies. The role-playing element really affects the gameplay and playstyle. What's more, there are things here that allow you to upgrade your character, like implants, psi powers, combat modules and body augmentations. All of these require certain characteristics, just like weapons. Also, here you will need to find certain technologies that will allow you to learn and access certain upgrades. In general, this game literally says that there is no limit to perfection. Well, speaking of endless games, it is impossible not to mention the MMORPGs. So now I suggest you look at Black Desert. This is a multiplayer role-playing game in a fantasy world. Here you can choose the one class you like from a literally huge number of places, create your character, and then go exploring the open world freely, participate in various activities such as quests, trade, crafting, fishing, hunting, and so on. For those who like to fight a little, here is also a PvP mode, like duels, arenas, and sieges. But the main thing here is that you can infinitely improve your character and infinitely save money. Well, although after level 62nd, it becomes very difficult and expensive, and to be honest, a little bit useless. You still can do it if you want. One more game with an infinite progress system is, of course, the shooter-looter game Warframe. I guess nobody is surprised that this game is on today's list, because you can do grinding here literally indefinitely. There is really a huge number of characters, and what's more, new ones are being added all the time. There is quite a lot of melee and ranged weapons, and each one has an upgrade prime version. Well, it's very difficult to get them though, and every character or weapon has levels and builds, which you can create yourself. So you'll be spending hundreds of hours in this game before you know it. Well, what's about a game that can go on indefinitely due to the number of characters you need to improve? Well, if you like something like that, then welcome to Kenshi. It's an open-world role-playing game with real freedom of choice. Here you can be anything you want: a merchant, a thief, a warlord, an adventurer, a slave, or just food for cannibals. But in the case, your life will understandably not last long. But anyway, once you've decided your mission, you can start traveling, exploring locations, fighting different factions and creatures, building your base, of course, learning technology, and much more. The thing about the game is that you start the game as a weak and helpless character, not someone like chosen or different. Yes, you can definitely become one, but you'll have to improve for a long time. There is a lot of skills here. It will literally take you hundreds of hours to improve each one, and as I said earlier, you can have multiple characters in this game. You can literally create 30 or more characters here if you have the time and energy to do so, of course. Can we say that the game has an infinite progress system if it's been relevant for 20 years? I think we can. So let's look at the space MMORPG E.Y.E Online. This game has a huge open world. You can explore the universe, fight with anyone, produce what you want, trade at any price, in fact, do whatever you want. Well, here is the main thing. Here you can develop your character infinitely, improving your skills and upgrade your characteristics. Skills are learned in real time, divided into several difficulty levels, and some of them can take several days or even weeks of real time to be mastered. So yes, you will have to spend a lot of time here if you want to achieve something. Skills determine your ability to control ships, use weapons and modules, produce and research items, and more. There are over 400 skills in total in the game, and it will take about 30 real years to learn them all to the maximum level, well, assuming you play every day. Sounds pretty crazy, right? Next we have Albion Online. This is a fantasy sandbox MMO with no classes or levels, quite unexpected, right? Everything here depends on what you've equipped and how you develop your skills. The story here is well non-linear and also depends on your actions and choice of faction. Each faction here has its own story, motives and goals, as well as its opponents and allies. You can engage in resource gathering, crafting, trading, farming, or building here. As you may have already learned, character upgrading here is also non-linear, and the talent tree here is huge. I mean really huge. In short, you can play this game for years and still not get everything upgraded to the max. Moreover, the updates here are released regularly and constantly bring the players something new, so a lot of people will start to get sick of the game before they reach some great results. But it's still a game worth checking out, and I suggest you give it a try. Another endless game is the sci-fi MMORPG Skyforge, which came out way back in 2015, but it's still alive. Here you can become a god and protect the world of Alien from hostile gods and alien invaders. Well, since its release, the game has seen many updates and additions, new classes, locations, mods and story campaigns, so despite its very, old age, it doesn't stay the same, and that's cool. Your main goal here is to develop your divine abilities, fighting enemies and help other characters. During the game you'll unlock new classes, switch between them and get updated to all sorts of unpredictable situations on the battlefield. As for gameplay, it's kind of just an MMORPG, and your level here depends on your total amount of prestige. It's sort of like your hero's trait score, and it grows as you get new equipment, improve your skills and develop your Faith Atlas, a special progression system. But of course, this will take time. Next we have Destiny 2, and well, there is not really endless progress, but still, this game has its own features. The game is set in a sci-fi world on different planets for the solar system in the distant future. You take on the role of a guardian, the protector of the last safe city on Earth. There is a PvE content, like exploring the world, searching for some secrets and killing monsters, and also PvP content, with arena battles. Many quests here are meant for groups or 3 or 6 players, and they include challenges that require teamwork, like puzzles. But what about endless progression? The fact is that each new season in this game increases the total level of equipment, and in fact you get new opportunities to develop your character each time, as the cap gets higher and higher each time. And since this happens quite often, you'll always have something to aim for next in this game. The next game is Path of Exile, an action role-playing game that is considered the true heir to the Diablo series, as it invites you to explore the dark fantasy world of Reckless, fight crowds of monsters, collect lots of equipment and level up as much as you can. Progression here is made up of 2 elements, a passive skills tree and an active skills. The passive skills tree is a huge grid of over 1000 perks that gives you some bonuses to stats, skills and abilities. Active skills are available as stones that can be inserted into equipment to enhance both your gear and your character in general. These systems make Path of Exile the kind of game where you can level up, improve your equipment and try out different builds and skills indefinitely. What's more, the updates here happen quite often, so you will always have something to do here. Next up, we have Trove. This game is a typical MMORPG where you choose one of many classes and go on adventures in different worlds. You can explore dungeons, fight monsters, collect treasure and create your own house. But since we are talking about progress today, well, here it comes with gems. Gems are like special stones that you can equip your character with and improve their characteristics, abilities abilities and effects. Gems come in different types: water, air, fire or space. Each type is suitable for a certain type of equipment like weapon, armor and so on. To improve a gem, you need to use special materials: gem dust, flux and all sorts of talismans. And guess what? Improving the gems he has no limit, but it gets harder and more expensive each level. Well, this game is similar to Warframe in many ways, but it still has a bunch of its own features, so why not give it a try? Well, the last game on today's list would be for those who literally have now here to go with their free time. Welcome to Cabal Online. This game has a huge world where technology and magic are woven together so tightly that it's impossible to isolate one from the other. The game offers several character classes: warrior, mage, archer and so on. At the beginning, everything is pretty typical, but the most interesting thing starts when you reach the 200th level. By the way, it will take you about 2 or 3 years to get there, which is really a lot. But once you've done it, it's the beginning of endless progress. You'll get 100 more levels, very expensive equipment improvements, upgrades for your mounts and many other things that will take even more time. But if you have enough of it, why not? Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found something interesting, and if so, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's been Deni, see you guys soon.